As of right now, with the U.S. stock market closed heading into trading on August 6, 2026, Ondas Inc. trades at a closing price of $8.86 per share, following a daily advance of 5.9% on above-average trading volume. While retail traders tracking popular tickers like Tesla stock, Apple stock, or Nvidia stock often look for dramatic single-day headlines to justify price swings, the real story behind Ondas right now is happening beneath the surface. Wall Street looks at Ondas as a small-cap speculative tech name trying to scale up, but the underlying numbers reveal a fundamental shift. The market expected another unprofitable industrial drone maker struggling for scale, but the reality is that Ondas has quietly pivoted into a central defense contractor, securing major federal contracts for airspace automation and counter-drone systems ahead of global events like the 2026 World Cup. If you look at the general consensus across common investing sites and retail platforms like the Robinhood app or SoFi Invest, the typical narrative on Ondas focuses on high cash burn and historical share dilution. Most retail accounts on SoFi Active Investing or individual brokerage accounts through Fidelity see a stock that dropped over 30% earlier in the year and assume it is just another volatile microcap trap. But that expectation misses the crucial shift in execution. When you inspect recent institutional volume on Interactive Brokers trading software and track how hedge funds are positioning, you see steady accumulation during recent market dips. The retail crowd sees a risky penny stock, while institutional desks see an undervalued player in critical infrastructure and defense technology that is rapidly building an enterprise backlog. To understand why this gap between expectation and reality exists, you have to break down the massive surge in recent stock movement. Over the past month alone, Ondas shares have posted gains approaching 30%, driven by a wave of heavy buying across retail brokerages and institutional desks alike. Investors using the Fidelity mobile app or managing self-investing accounts through Schwab Intelligent Portfolios have noticed the elevated daily trading volume, which recently crossed 26 million shares in a single session against a normal daily baseline. This sudden influx of liquidity is not random market noise. It is direct institutional positioning tied to over $70 million in newly announced defense and autonomous technology orders secured over recent weeks. When a company with a market valuation in the mid-cap space pulls in $70 million in military and security orders within a 4-week window, the financial trajectory changes completely. Many traders who use Robinhood stock trading or active accounts on Interactive Brokers platform tend to trade Ondas based on technical chart patterns, noticing resistance levels near $9 and support down near the $7 mark. But the fundamentals are driving those chart patterns. The influx of capital into government security, combined with rising geopolitical tensions requiring counter-drone capabilities, has turned Ondas into a focused defense play rather than just a speculative commercial drone concept. Take a moment to join the conversation and drop a thought in the comment section below. Comment below how many shares of Ondas Inc. you currently hold in your portfolio, or tell me if you think government demand for drone defense will continue to accelerate over the next year. Your input helps us gauge where retail sentiment really sits compared to institutional flows. The broader market context is equally important when evaluating this movement. Small-cap growth names have faced significant macroeconomic headwinds due to interest rate policy and tight credit markets. When investors log into their Fidelity brokerage or check their intelligent portfolio allocations, they usually favor established mega-cap tech or Fidelity ETFs over high-beta small caps. However, when macro pressures begin to ease or sector-specific capital flows shift heavily into defense technology, companies like Ondas experience outsized price moves. The recent quarterly performance showed net income swings that caught short sellers off guard, forcing rapid short covering that amplified daily upward price action. Looking deeper into institutional activity, data from Interactive Brokers' fees and execution feeds shows significant block trades being processed during market hours. While everyday users engaged in online investing through Robinhood fractional shares or SoFi stocks are buying small positions, large funds are establishing structural stakes. This divergence is critical. Retail investors often buy during price spikes and panic during pullbacks, whereas institutional desks use pullbacks as liquidity events to build positions in companies with growing government backlogs. Now, to properly evaluate where the business goes from here, we need to look at what Ondas actually does and how its core operational segments generate revenue. Ondas operates primarily through two distinct divisions: Ondas Networks and Ondas Autonomous Systems. Ondas Networks centers around its proprietary FullMax software-defined radio platform, which provides secure, private, wide-area broadband wireless networks for mission-critical industrial applications like freight rail, electric utilities, and oil and gas infrastructure. This network side provides stable software licensing, hardware sales, and recurring maintenance contracts that form a baseline of baseline revenue. On the other side, Ondas Autonomous Systems focuses on high-end automated security and defense platforms. Through its subsidiaries, including Centrix, the company manufactures autonomous drone systems, interceptors like the Iron Drone Raider, and cyber-over-radio frequency detection platforms designed to neutralize unauthorized aerial systems. A key operational milestone is their recently awarded contracts with federal, state, and local agencies to secure airspace around host cities for the upcoming 2026 World Cup. Instead of relying on one-off commercial pilot projects, Ondas is integrating its automated technology directly into state-level security frameworks and defense infrastructure. Historically, Ondas struggled with high operating expenses, net losses, and capital raises that resulted in share dilution. That history created a persistent negative narrative that still dominates trading forums and stock screening tools across platforms like Fidelity Wealth Management or Robinhood Crypto and Cash Management hubs. Investors looking at historical income statements saw a business burning cash to build out its product suite. However, the strategic pivot from research and development to commercial contract conversion represents a classic inflection point where operational reality begins to overtake legacy market expectations. As we evaluate the future outlook for Ondas stock, several distinct catalysts, risks, and scenarios come into focus. On the opportunity side, the growing defense backlog provides top-line revenue visibility that the company simply did not have 2 years ago. If Ondas can successfully execute on its current $70 million order pipeline and convert pilot programs into recurring long-term defense maintenance contracts, revenue growth will start to outpace operating expenses. This would lead to operating leverage, expanding profit margins, and potential analyst price target revisions across major Wall Street brokerages. However, realistic analysis requires weighing the clear operational risks. Execution risk remains the primary challenge. Converting orders into delivered systems on time and within budget is difficult, especially when dealing with complex defense tech and municipal government timelines. Furthermore, if cash flow generation stalls, the risk of further share dilution could re-emerge, creating downside volatility for investors holding through SoFi robo-advisor accounts, Fidelity IRAs, or self-managed portfolios on Interactive Brokers' stock trading accounts. Navigating these dynamics requires understanding where market expectations stand today compared to the underlying business reality. The market currently prices Ondas with a mix of lingering skepticism from its historic cash burn and growing excitement over its rapid defense deal flow. Investors using online investment platforms, checking investment help guides, or evaluating investing sites must realize that Ondas is no longer just a passive wireless network developer. It has evolved into an active participant in mission-critical defense and automated airspace security. In summary, the central story for Ondas Inc. comes back to the classic gap between market expectation and operational reality. While consensus sentiment on popular platforms like Robinhood or SoFi Active Investing often views the company through the lens of past share dilution and short-term price volatility, the actual ground truth shows rapid order expansion, key government contracts for global event security, and significant institutional interest. Whether you trade through Fidelity, manage an interactive broker's account, or utilize Schwab Intelligent Portfolios for self-investing, watching how Ondas executes on its expanding defense backlog over the coming quarters will determine whether this stock can sustain its upward momentum and permanently redefine its place in the market. Disclaimer: this video is made only for educational and informational purposes. I am not a financial advisor. Any stock, crypto, or investment discussed here is not financial advice. Please do your own research or consult a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Invest responsibly.